Hello, hi priestesses. Welcome to my channel again. Um, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that this week has been kind to you. I hope you've been able to, achieve one or two things, or at least you're taking it easy on yourself. Um, you guys, let me tell you something. I have been I have been so tempted to read this book without you guys, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to just come online and read with you guys because the last time we were reading, we stopped at Priestess Coles, and I was so tempted to continue reading after recording. And yesterday, I wanted to read it so bad, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take some time to record and then read with you guys. So I promise you guys, I have not read this book since the last time we did. And okay, so guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what we're doing is we are currently reading this book, The Way of the Priestess, by Sarah Coxon, right here. And I hope you can see it. Yeah. So we've been reading this book, and it's been really interesting. And so after reading a few pages, we then go ahead to, read some oracle cards. So I'm excited to continue reading with you guys. I'm not sure how many pages we're gonna read tonight, but let's just go. All right. So the last time, which I think was Monday or Tuesday, I think we stopped at no, I don't think. I know that we stopped at Priestess Coles, and now we're starting with Safe at Last. So, um, Safe at Last. Several years later, I'm sat on the bedroom floor of the villa. I'm renting. By the way, I just want to give a quick recap of Priestess Cole. Sarah spoke about the first time she met a priestess, the high priestess, which she was 15 years old, and a mom's friend bought her an oracle deck, and then there was this goddess, the high priestess on the oracle deck that called her. So that's all that page was all about. So I just had to recap for the people that were not here. But you can also watch the previous video as well. Everything is in there. So let's go ahead and read. Several years later, I'm sat on the bedroom floor of the villa I'm renting in Portugal. It's late evening and it feels as if the sadness I'm feeling might swallow me whole. To be honest, I'm not even sure that I want to leave. I have never felt so lost and so alone. A few weeks previously, I'd boarded a one-way flight to the Western Algarve in search of inner peace and a fresh start. It had taken me a while to find a place to live, and my job prospect for teaching yoga full time weren't great. But I was finally starting to feel safe in this sleepy and forgotten corner of Europe. I guess I had an intuitive knowing that my soul was supposed to be here. Except that right now, as I am crouched on the floor doing the ugly cry, it feels like anything but destiny. It's all hit me. I'm letting it out. Finally, you are safe. Sarah, you are safe. Because although I had been pretending to the world otherwise, the truth was I'd been living a lie. Sat there, crumpled on the cold tiled floor, memories flashed before my eyes. I can feel that, okay? I can feel that because I have been there. I have been in that kind of situation, that kind of setting. Okay. Being pinned up against the wall of the shower, his forearm crushing my throat, trying to scream, but no sound coming out. My windpipe and vocal cords sealed shut by the strength of his grip. The terrifying thought, this is how I die, popping into my head again and again. Me hoping our neighbors will come and save me. The sickening sound of my skull smacking the wall and the shock as I watched the blood spill from my forehead and mix with the water on the bathroom floor. Sitting together, hugging and crying at the horror of it all. My forehead being sewn up with three big ugly stitches. But now I am safe, safe. So the next one is red flags and self betrayal. And I think we are going to, you know, resonate with this. We have literally betrayed ourselves. Um, we've seen so many red flags that we tend to ignore, and then, you know, we betray ourselves in that process of like ignoring these red flags that we're not supposed to be ignored, all in the name of, oh, I love this person. Oh, I don't want to be rejected. Oh, I don't want to be alone. I just, when you have the fear of being alone, um you tend to betray yourself because now you're accepting the things that you're not supposed to be accepting. All right, let's go ahead and read. I'd met him only a few months after coming back from Thailand. After my recent breakup, I was feeling more magnetic, and more confident than ever before. I was learning how to be single and learning that I really like my own company, which is, of course, when I met him. I swear some guys are only interested when a woman poses more of a challenge. Which is true, right? It's true. The red flag were there right from the beginning of the relationship. Love bombing, subtle contempt and control. The knot in my stomach that something wasn't right. I brushed it all aside. In fact, I gaslighted myself. I told myself to be more compassionate. I told myself it wasn't a big deal. I told myself the universe had clearly brought us together for a reason. I told myself how lucky I was to have a guy who loved me so much so quickly. As time went on, the red flags became bigger and more in my face. The smashing of my property, put down, the swallowing of tears. Hmm. I began to fear the nights I'd go out drinking with the lads because shit often went down afterwards. But still, I didn't leave him. In response, a few years in, I started to have lesions with other guys. Nothing physical, but just enough of an emotional connection to rouse his suspicion and jealousy. And so we carried on, caught in a web of toxicity that neither of us were brave enough to escape. I told myself that sure, he had anger issues, but he'd never hurt me physically, never. But that wasn't the case, and he did hurt me. I still have scars on my forehead forever, reminding me of the pent up anger and rage that came flooding out of him one terrifying evening. And yet, despite having fear for my life, I chose to stay with him. It wasn't the abuse that hurt me so much, it was my own self betrayal. I hated lying to everyone about what had happened. I knew no one believed me. My I slept in the shower story anyway, and I felt like a statistic I had never asked to become. I was also a fraud. I was teaching feminine empowerment in my yoga class when the reality was that I was the poster girl for disempowerment. After the violent night, the relationship turned even more toxic than I could have imagined. Within a few weeks, it was becoming increasingly difficult to hang around with my friends without provoking his anger. And because I was terrified of him, I found myself lying to him, pleading with him, and apologizing to him. I did anything to keep the peace. The period of drama and despair were always followed by a period of bliss. It was sweet. He took care of me. He talked about marriage and kids. I couldn't help it. I was hooked. My logical mind was disgusted at what I was allowing myself to become. But he was like a drug. The more he pulled away from me, the more I wanted him. A few weeks after the attack, he turned violent again, and fearing for my life, I ran from him and stayed at my friend's house. I told her everything, and he was agreed that in the morning I'll go to my place, pack my bag, and come and stay with her. I meant to, I really did. But as soon as I saw him, I succumbed. I pleaded with him and told him I'd do better. And after that, I started seeing my friends much less. They were worried, but what could they do? They knew that I wasn't ready to face the truth, and they had the foresight to recognize that they couldn't push me. I had to do, I had to, I had to come to the conclusion myself. But none of that matters now. I finally left, here alone in Portugal. I'm sat on the floor, clutching my phone and searching for comfort as I read the encouraging messages from my friends back in the UK. All the pain, all the pent up trauma, all the relief is oozing out of me in the form of uncontrollable sobs and big fat tears. Another sleepless night awaits me. Alright, guys, I wanted to say something real quick about this. It's so crazy how we gaslight ourselves, right? Talking about, oh, I know this, I know, God actually brought me and this person together for a reason. And then we miss the point that the whole reason actually is to learn to love ourselves more. Because the whole purpose of that person maltreating you is for you to ask yourself, will I treat myself this way? It's for you to ask yourself if, as someone who loves yourself, would you have treated yourself that way? Like, will you treat yourself the way that person is treating you? That is actually why God brought you guys together, not because you need to sit in there, okay? And also, here's another thing that I've actually come to realize. As someone who barely like, I am more of the giver, right? I'm more of the giver. Oh, like the one that people call and I'm there. I'm more of the giver. I don't get that energy back, right? It's really, really rare to get that energy back. Now, when I meet people who start doing the barest minimum, I, t- even if they're toxic, I tend to say, "Oh, they're good. This person is a good person." Because they were doing the bare minimum, so I turn a blind eye to all the toxic things that they're doing. So that's another thing that I learned about myself with these people being toxic, to me. Because it's more so I now see the bigger picture and not be like, why am I even taking all this toxic thing just because this person is doing the barest minimum, because I'm even doing way more than what they're doing. But because I'm not used to people even doing the bare minimum, I tend to accept their toxic behaviors because they're doing the bare minimum. And I know some of you understand what I'm trying to say tonight. And I think that's another thing that I read here, because she said something about, oh, he took care of me, which I'm sure like she was actually taking care of him even way more than he was. But probably she wasn't used to someone doing that kind of sweet stuff. S- you know she It blinded her. But that's all part of the journey of, like, growing and learning, and The whole spiritual awakening thing. All right, let's move to the next one. The next one is gaslighting. I'm 30 and I've just received an email from an ex telling me that he's going to take legal action against me regarding a blog post I've written about my experience of domestic abuse and violence. Are you kidding me? Or is this a joke? Are you Oh my god, the audacity. Okay. I'm in my complete shock. My body is shaking. I reread his words. Your representation of events is deranged. I began retching, and that's where I began to question myself again. What if I was making it out to be worse than it was? The knee jerk reaction to edit myself, deny my truth, and pull the blog post down is incredibly strong. Years ago, years ago, that is exactly what I would have done, but not this time. I let myself shake and cry and vomit. Then I web search for a lawyer who specializes in domestic violence cases and fire an email. A response fortifies me with a sense of resolve. She tells me that there was nothing damning in my blog post, that I don't need to take it down, and that she suspects nothing will come of this threat because she's seen situations like this many times before. Despite our words, I can't eat a thing that evening. I'm on high alert waiting. Once I had fully left the relationship, I realized that I didn't need to lie anymore. I could, if I was brave enough, speak the truth, so I started to candidly share about my experience with one woman and then another. My sharing not only became medicine for me, but also medicine for the sisterhood. I've lost count of the number of women who have responded to my story with "Me Too." Domestic abuse and violence are unfathomably present in today's society, and the statistics are frightening. A high percentage of women who are killed know their murderers, and an alarming number of the perpetrators are either their partners or ex-partners, which is true. That's the fact. That is the freaking fact. This is much higher than the number of men killed by their partners. Choosing to stay in a relationship that has become violent is dangerous. I do not subscribe to that, okay? I have been there, done that. And I will never be there. Nothing will ever make me to be there, okay? Alright. It only takes one punch or one shove for a tragic accident to occur. I know this from personal experience. That night, as he was attempting to squeeze the life out of me, I was completely at his mercy. The truth is that he could have killed me. And what then? Would he have been held accountable? Would he have managed to convince a jury that it was a crime of passion? Would would I have been another woman whose precious life was ended far too soon? Often when I share my story, I see him as a faceless entity to me. He represents a phenomenon, and my decision to share was never about victimizing myself or demonizing him as a perpetrator. I simply wanted to tell the truth because I believe that the truth is our liberator. The light of truth casts out shame, and it's my belief that shame is the very fuel that gets us into and keeps us in this toxic situation in the first place. When I started sharing my experience on social media, it really pissed him off. I was always careful not to name him, of course, but he felt victimized. He threatened me. Members of his family sent me messages. They never understood that the telling of my story was never about him, it was about me. I was simply telling the story that far too many women globally have experienced but never shared. When I originally sat down to write about the horrors of what had happened that night, I wrote it as a passage full of rich detail: where, when, and how. It felt incredibly liberating to finally own it in all its messiness and rawness. As I sat at my kitchen table, finishing up my final sentence, a wave of relief flowed through me. It felt like the last time I would ever need to share it. All right, guys. I think we are almost. All right. I wanted it out there in the world, helping women own their stories and make empowering choices. But after much agonizing reflection, I chose to include a more watered down and edited version of events. I cannot share with you the dark and twisted details of my experience without opening myself up to the possibility of a lawsuit. Should he be identifiable? Should he be identifiable? I've even deleted pictures of us together on my social media just in case. I chose this because I have seen too many women let down by a judicial system that is rigged against its women. I do not trust that the system would protect me, even though I was the one who was violently assaulted. I have a friend who was made by law to testify against her abusive ex boyfriend in California, and not only did she lose, but she was branded a liar and a fraud. Sadly, her story is far from unique, and I don't want that for myself. Instead, I have chosen to tell my story differently. I edit myself to stay safe. It's what women have been doing for millennia. And despite feeling a niggling sense of disappointment towards myself for doing so, I stand by the choice to publish the sordid details and risk him being identified would be an act of self betrayal and self sabotage. I'm deeply happy and content with the life I've created for myself since I left him, and I will not allow that to be threatened because I deserve safety, I deserve peace, I deserve to breathe freely. We all deserve safety, we all deserve peace, and we all deserve to breathe freely. Okay? The truth is that in many ways I still feel love for him and the wonderful man he was underneath all of his pain. Is it love or is it a trauma bond? Trauma bonds are a strong emotional attachment between an abused person and their abuser. These are formed as a result of the cycle of violence. And perhaps this is what I'm still feeling, even to this day. All I know is that I forgave him a long time ago, and the sharing of this particular story has never been about retribution. It's instead a cautionary tale of any of you reading this who recognize yourself in my story. My message is clear. Get out before you get hurt. Okay? Get freaking out before you get hurt. Alright guys, we are going to stop there. Next week we're gonna not next week actually. I didn't wait. What's today? Thursday. Okay. So Friday, Saturday. Alright, I'm not sure guys. Maybe this week, maybe next week we're gonna continue with why strong women stay. And for those of you who don't know, we are reading The Way of the Priestess by Sarah Coxon. And I promise you guys I'm not gonna read it without you guys. I'm gonna come back and read with you guys, alright? So let's get into our oracle decks. Okay, I already pre-shuffled your cards as I always do, and so the first two cards, one is blessed, one is building blocks, and we're gonna go ahead and read it. All right, so bear with me, guys. I just want to open it. 22, 2 and 2. 2 may be significant. Let's go. All right, blessed. So the essential meaning, something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected. Grace that is an unforeseen gift from the Spirit. There are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in the ways that are difficult to express. And it is as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. For relationship message, you are moving towards a deepening of intimacy in a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you are being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. Prosperity message. Unexpected windfalls and good fortune come your way now. You are in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have been stymied, that have stymied your success, seem to disappear on their word. Guys, I've been tripping on my words. Be ready to receive. The windows of opportunities will open wide. Accept the blessings given to you now, and don't forget to share them. So, this is saying that there are blessings coming, unexpected blessings, even the blessings that you didn't work for, that you didn't think you deserved, they're coming your way. So be open yourself to blessings and to accept them, and also share with other people as well. All right. So the other one is building blocks. Honestly, I think building blocks and blessings kind of like correlate. I may be wrong. I just think that you know building blessings, whatever, found like building foundation or something. Let's see. Okay. So building block. Okay, see, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. So you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundation you build upon your work you build upon your work, your relationship, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Hmm. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as a solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you're making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. When you see this card, know that you are, by the way, this is a relationship message. When you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving towards laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long lasting relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. Prosperity message. You have everything you need to turn iron into gold in the alchemical process for creating the prosperous life you desire. Now is the time to build on the strong foundation you have already laid for your prosperity. Keep in mind that these building blocks are imbued with the sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dreams and remember that you always have more than enough and you always are enough. So abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success, my dear high priestesses. You are meant for success, and you have more than enough, and you are always enough. I just want you to know that you are enough. I don't know what these people are telling you out there. I don't know what they're trying to make you believe. I don't know what message they're trying to pass along, but you're enough, and you will always be enough. Okay? And I'm just here to remind you of that. And then, which one? All right. Let's take this. So when I pulled this card, right? It's so funny. Um, I saw the word orgasm, and I was like, what? But then it actually meant to release, right? So it says, thrust your body, elevate your spirit, open the gates to your renewal. And that's on 29. So if you could bear with me for a second, while I open to page 29. All right, we're there. So it says, release is a necessary part of life that you must give way to from time to time. When that does not happen, your soul becomes too overwhelmed and will seek release in other more destructive ways. Never in this time, in this, never is this more true than never is this more true than with emotions. Lower vibrations such as anger, sadness, jealousy, and rage can consume you if they are left unchecked. You may think you're getting over what you feel by ignoring it or locking it in the back of your mind. But eventually your emotional baggage will seek another outlet and may manifest in self-destruction, illness, chaotic outbursts, or other negative expressions of release. An emotion release doesn't have to be dramatic. There are many ways you can free yourself from the storm brewing within. Giving yourself to creative experience expression is a healthy way to channel darker emotions. Dance or cook or lose yourself in art, body expression or music. The medium doesn't matter if it brings you sense of freedom. Okay, let me tell you something real quick, guys. As a logical person, I used to just, suck in my emotion and be like, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna, sit with my emotions. I just lock it up somewhere and just keep it moving. But at some point, it may take like months. Literally, it comes back to bite me in my butt. Okay? They never go away. If you do not sit with your emotions and try to heal from them, they will not go away. They're gonna be there. They may do really well with hiding, but one someday they're gonna come out. All right. So the next one is Earth Worship, which we can find when okay, I found it. So it says, until my body is in your arms, I will worship you, dear mother of mine. And then it says, Earth worship is a card of celebration for the fulfillment of a journey. You have achieved much and have achieved much to celebrate. Like the season flowing from one to another, you have reached a place of harmony and wholeness. Even if your dreams are not yet fulfilled, your spirit is at peace and knows all it was. Take some time to reflect on your journey. What lessons have you learned? In what ways can you express gratitude for all that you have done? This card is called Worship because you deserve this time to bask in the glory that is upon you. Let the totality of your life seep into your bones and protect all that you have, just as you protect our beautiful Earth Mother. The most literal expression of this card is to seek ways to do your part to heal the planet. Consider adopting a zero waste lifestyle, eating organic food, or volunteering in earth based charities. As you work to heal Mother Earth, so shall she support you on your path to further success. Okay? Take some time to, connect with Earth, with Mother Earth. I I don't know if you look at some of my pictures, you can see like my plants. I connect with my plants a lot. Sometimes I talk to them, and I think they listen because I can feel them. And or I just go by the water side and just enjoy nature. I connect with nature. I like to play with sand. For me, I just like to connect with the floor, just connect with the ground. And I don't know, I just it helps me feel better. And so this is calling you to connect with nature, spend some time with Mother Earth. One thing, so I volunteer a lot, but I volunteer in kitchens, right? Where we cook and we serve other people. I never knew like there's something like called earth based charities or like volunteering in earth based charity. What is that? Is it like volunteer? I'm actually going to Google that because if it's like volunteering in like places where they deal with plants or like animals or stuff like that, I'll be so down to volunteer there. Seriously, I'm gonna check it out and see if that's a thing because that sounds like me. Honestly, sounds like me. All right, so the other one is bonfire. It says it is true. It is through remembering that you will wake the ritual of your existence and be reborn in mind's celebration. And that is number two. And then we're there. It says in ancient days, all fires will be extinguished, and a giant community fire created to represent the sun's power. The bonfire served as a reminder to see growth, fertility, and abundance, and to remember the dark days will be followed by light, and all will be well again. In this way, bonfires represent a remembrance of the light within your spirit, a call to reclaim your inner power. Are you full of inspiration and dream but fail to take action? We will have an inner power, but if left unused, this power sinks into the background, allowing your inner force to dwindle can lead to undesirable side effects such as low self-esteem, lack of motivation, negative feeling, or stagnation and confusion. The more your power is left unused, the less confidence you might have to seek out the dreams that are your right to claim. Bonfire brings you the gift of remembering the force within you and guides you to act upon the desires within your heart. This is a card of strong, forceful action, and when it comes to your spread, it is a sign that your plans, ideas, or dream are likely to lead to success. Like all fires, your dream must be tended to, or the flame will go out. Do not let your flame extinguish, for each time you do it, will become more challenging to light again. Guys, this is so like encouraging, okay? Like this is telling you that it is now. Now is the time for you to take action. Some of you may be feeling that burn, but for some reason you're still fighting yourself. Like you're having that fight in your head to like, push yourself to do these things. Well, this is calling you to start. Take action. In fact, as a matter of fact, take action because this is where the success is. This is the break you need. And it's so crazy because it's when something will be successful. That's when we find it hard to do. Isn't that crazy? And that's more reason for you to push yourself. Push yourself. All right? This is calling you. And I'm actually not going to close this page because I want to read it again. I I I felt it. All right. So remember last episode I was talking about looking for my self-care deck, right? I found it, guys. I found it on the same day, on the same night I was looking for it. So I was able to pull you guys two self-care cards today, which I'm going to read for you. And the first one is Sweet Treat. I know some of you are so excited to hear that, but I haven't read Sweet Treat, but I think it's pretty much straightforward. But let me just go ahead and open the page for Sweet Treat and then read it out for you. Let's see. Alright, I found it. So, I read. It says indulging in a sweet treat every once in a while so that it remains truly special can be so good for the soul. This is not the time to restrict calories. This is about treating yourself to something delightful. Head to your favorite bakery to pick up something tasty or ask a friend or family member for a special recipe that you can make at home. Set an intention and infuse good energy into your sweet creation. Treat the process of making it and eating it like a sacred ritual. Whether you eat it alone or share with loved ones, before you take the first bite, say a prayer to express your gratitude for the nourishment and joy it will provide. Be sure to savor every second and keep your mind clear while eating it so you can express it mindfully. Journal prompt. What is your favorite food to indulge in? What does it remind you of and how does it make you feel? Alright. So this is calling you to treat yourself. I know like some of us don't really, eat all of that, like all that sugar and stuff. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes I treat myself good. As a matter of fact, sometimes I bake. So this is also calling you to either bake or just go to your one of your favorite stores and get yourself something. And before you eat it, and pray and just be grateful for the treat and be grateful for how it's gonna nourish your body. You know. All right. So the other one is, I think, okay, is abundance planning. This one is important, and I'm just gonna go to the page and read it out for you guys. Let me see how many pages it is. I think it's just one, if I'm not mistaken. I guess it's not one, just a little bit. Wait, actually. All right, let's read. So the mantra for that is I attract a level of abundance in alignment with my self-worth and reflective of my generous nature. I'm going to repeat that. I attract a level of abundance in alignment with my self-worth and reflective of my generous nature. And one more time, I attract a level of abundance in alignment with my self worth and reflective of my generous nature. I hope you repeat that as well. All right, let's read. Your financial health is an essential aspect of your overall wellness practice. It is time to take a closer look at how you are spending, saving, and making money. To begin, review all your bank accounts, investments, and credit card, as well as any loans you are carrying. Doing so will help you get clear on your financial status. Then make a practical plan to lower your expenses, increase your income and savings, and repay your debts. An excellent place to start is at your local bank or with a financial advisor. Work with your bank or advisor to optimize your account to have the lowest fee and highest interest rate possible. In addition, you can get set up with automatic bill payments, transfer monthly deposit into a savings account, and begin consolidating any debts you may be carrying. The other side of your financial abundance equation is generating more money. When you put your energy towards it, you often find new ways to do so. If you are working, this can be achieved by negotiating a raise at your current position. Consider applying for a promotion or a new job. taking on a side gig or educating yourself on a new topic or skills with income generating potential. If you are an entrepreneur, look into raising your fees or prices, developing new marketing strategies, and expanding your product offerings, as well as other ways to increase your margins. Journal prompt. What was your family's relationship with money like when you were growing up? How has that impacted your relationship with money? All right. So ask yourself these questions if you want to, journal about this. And by the way, guys, if you have not already done that, please hit the subscribe button so that I can come here and read with you guys all the time. I really want to do this often. I have more books. So once we're done with this one, there's another book I have right now, and I know there's so many books to read. Okay, there's so many books that help us, continue to grow, continue to be a better version of ourselves, because that's the whole point of your spiritual journey, of being the high priestess, the person that want to lead other people, that people are going to look up to anyway, and for yourself most importantly, because at the end of the day, everything you're doing for yourself. And I want to thank you guys for spending your time, sparing your time, and just reading with me. I try not to make this really, really long, because I know the first video I made about this was like an hour. I was like, oh my god, are they gonna listen to that? But anyway, I believe that, if you need to receive a message, you receive it. So even if it's 2 hours, I know people will need to hear it. Will hear it. And yeah, I think that's it. You guys feel free to leave me comments on what you think about this episode. If you have anything to add to it, or if there's anything in particular you want me to speak on next time, I am open. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know if there's a word like openness person, but like I am so open to ideas, open to criticism, open to whatever. So if you have something on your mind that you want me to do or talk about, please hit my comment as well. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for coming to my TED talk. I will see you guys on the next episode. Until then, I hope you continue to take care of yourself. And, I hope you continue to put yourself first, focus on your mental health, and be a better version of yourself. I am rooting for you always, all the time. You already know that. All right, guys. Thank you, and have a good night.